His morning crew with Rob, Allison, and Jim.
Samaritan's Purse, based in Boone, North Carolina, has a DC-8 cargo plane full of critical supplies ready to head to the Bahamas as soon as airports open again. Hurricane Dorian left thousands of people without basic necessities. Brock Kreitzburg is the Hurricane Dorian Response Manager for Samaritan's Purse. He joins us live with the details. Good morning, Brock.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so what all is on that cargo plane?
So the biggest needs, we're focusing on life-saving saving needs. So we have water units that are going to provide clean water. As you can imagine, when a hurricane comes in, it brings a lot of salt water, and that salt water you can't drink. And so we have desalination units, so a unit that removes salt from the water. So we're going to have community filters for that, as well as tarp that will help. A lot of roofs have been damaged, and also buildings. So it's just an opportunity to give people to get out of the weather for the people who have been affected by the hurricane.
Now, once all these supplies get into the Bahamas, how does your team distribute all of these supplies?
Yeah, we have a great team. We have a team of 20 people on the ground that have a lot of experience doing distributions. As you mentioned earlier, the airports are underwater, or at least they're draining right now. So our plan is to fly into Nassau and begin to barge our supplies over to the most affected areas. And it's really looking at the ports to see what's open, because there could be capsized boats, there could be debris that are in the ports. So we just need to identify areas that we can get in, and then begin to distribute the materials. And we have already church contacts on the ground that we are working through in order to mobilize other individuals and church members to help with the distributions.
It sounds like you really are on top of what's going on there. What are you hearing about the devastation in the Bahamas?
Well, a Category 5 is devastating, extensive damage. There's not a lot left on the ground, and people have needs of food, water, medical, shelter. I mean, it's going to be months of emergency relief as well as rebuilding. And some people may have the ability to leave the island, but I think a lot of people will also remain there and have large needs that we hope to be able to meet, and not only meet the physical needs, but also meet the spiritual needs there.
We're talking to Brock Kreitzburg. He's a part of the management team that's taking care of Samaritan's Purse, getting all these supplies into the Bahamas. And one thing you need to know about Brock, this guy, now correct me if I'm wrong, the Olympic bobsled team, dude, that's you?
Yeah, I was on the U.S. Olympic bobsled team. I was in the 2006 Olympics in Torino, Italy, and I was on the U.S. national team from 2003 to 2010.
That is incredible. And all that, and now you're at Samaritan's Purse. Your first experience with a disaster response was that tsunami that happened back in Japan in 2011. And I read that you prayed a sacred prayer, and this is how you started it. I simply said, I'll go anywhere or do anything in the name of Christ. That was your words, Brock.
It is, and it's still my prayer today. Actually, I just prayed that last week. God, I will go anywhere and do anything for the name of Christ. And so I will go. I want to be faithful to where God has called me. And so God certainly did answer that prayer. He took me to South Sudan. After Japan, he took me to South Sudan, to Uganda, and now I'm overseeing our international disaster response unit here at Samaritan's Purse.
You have an incredible story, an incredible journey that God's taken you on. But what about people who may be feeling that same stirring in their hearts that you felt back when the tsunami happened? What advice do you give them?
One, pray. Pray for the individuals on the ground, because they're going to be severely impacted. So pray for their physical needs to be met, but also their spiritual, because they're hurting. Everything that they have, they've lost. And so pray that God uses this opportunity to show his love, his mercy, and that, he uses Samaritan's Purse to bring the good news of Jesus Christ. One, pray. Two, I would go to our website, www.samaritanspurse.org, and see the work that we are doing. Certainly, they can become involved in a certain capacity with the work that we are doing. And just be quiet and listen to God and see what he's calling them to do.
Brock Kreitzburg, he is from the Samaritan's Purse. You're hearing all the efforts that they're doing. If you do want to help out, we have a fast shortcuts for you to get to that website. Just text the word relief to 800-447-7234. We'll connect you right up with Samaritan's Purse.